Hang on, Mr. Douglas. Yeah.
Yes, welcome back, and thank you for joining me on this episode of Hanging with Mr. Douglas. Who is me? Today we will be discussing 2 excerpts from Chapter 15 of Ingo Swann, Secrets of Power, Volume 1, and the title of Chapter 15, You and Your Power. Cue the 1950s type sounding music. We've got 2 excerpts today, a big one and a small one. The big one speaks for itself. It is a quote from John Locke and Ingo's breakdown of it, but a wonderful setup. And again, just another mindset stretcher, another frame of reference level, another build of your reality box to grok this very fundamental idea of natural innate inborn power, and that we've all got it. Let's just get to it. Let's go. Let's hit that John Locke. A basic idea of power. A little over 300 years ago, the tremendously influential English empiricist and political philosopher John Locke, 1632 to 1704, published the following concept in An Essay Concerning Human Understanding, Volume 2, Part 7, 1690. Power is another of those simple ideas which we receive from sensation and reflection, for observing within ourselves that we do and can think, and that we can, at pleasure, move several parts of our bodies which were at rest. The effects, also, that natural bodies are able to produce in one another, occurring every moment to our senses. We both these ways get the idea of power. Locke's statement is probably one of the very few of the most fundamental statements regarding basic powers. Locke was saying that when you move your legs, arms, eyes, head, and so forth, that it takes power to do so. He was also saying that when you think something, again, it takes power to do so. When you experience a sensation or pause to reflect upon something you perhaps have not understood before, again, it takes some kind of power to do so. And what he was also saying, but between the lines, was that it takes biokinetic and mental kinetic energy to produce motion of any kind, and that the source of the energy motion is power of some kind. Another way to look at this, one which Locke intended, was to consider that if you could not produce motion of limbs or thoughts, then you would be dead, which is to say, be energyless, powerless. Locke's statement about power and about getting the idea of power was in fact quite widespread during his times and until some point during the late 18th century. Right, so when you get down to it, when you get to the grainy bits of sand that make up the beach, that is the body-mind system of us, thinking about things, any particular thing. Why does Mr. Douglas talk the way he does? Thinking that way, thinking that thought right there, that takes power of some kind. Moving your arm over to take a look and see who just tweeted what. That right there, that takes power. Deciding to eat that extra bowl of chips, which I have been doing as of late, that takes power. And if you could not do any of those things, if those things were not in your capacity of doing, you would be dead. I mean, not those things in particular, but the basic that you heard the quote. You know what I mean. Stuff that seems pretty simple, but when Ingo presents it in the way that he does, it lacquers on another layer that can help us see through the deep fog that is presented to us in our modern way of existing. The systems set up for us to operate within do not want us even thinking, let alone discussing, these fundamental facts. because these facts act as gasoline, as charging our supercapacitors, so that we may, in effect, blow away the dirty fog that labyrinthizes our day-to-day. Now, this next quote, this next excerpt from Ingo Swann's Secrets of Power, Volume 1, Chapter 15, is one of my personal favorites, because when it all boils down to it, this, right here, is a fact, Jack, and you can't squirm your way away from it. This is truth, and to start from here is an honest and incredibly advantageous position, especially when concerning ourselves with the systems in place that want us expressly not to acknowledge this fact, Jack. All right, here we go. Check it out. The life force equals power and empowerment. If you are among those who feel they have little or no power, you can be assured with quite some certainty that you do have implicit power. After all, individuals of our species are basically comprised of a life force or life energy, and where there is life energy, there is power. Because that is what it takes to be alive and in motion and in activity. That this is so is not a mere sugar-coated palliative. Rather, it is a logical extension of the notable fact that whatever else our species consists of, it is a power species possessing tremendous known powers, and probably many more that are unknown. Yes. If you are alive, you have implicit power. And that power is expressing itself simply because of the fact you're alive. What to me provides the 10 it to 11 kind of situation with this quote is the very end there where he says, whatever else our species consists of, it is a power species possessing tremendous known powers. And here it is, the kicker, and probably many more that are unknown. Right there. The base level is pretty much being alive, waking up, going to the bathroom, eating your food, going to work, getting dressed. Those are base level things. And as we heard from John Locke before, all representations of power. What happens after that? Ooh, that's when we get into the really fun stuff. To have this mindset, then, is a massive boon for anybody on the road to re-empowerment, as I am, as we are here together. Hold that within yourself. I do. To walk and talk and breathe and perceive, to look around. From sky to ground, you are expressing power. What else can we express? Well, the more we allow this understanding to hold significance within our reality boxes, our frames of mind, our mindsets, the more opportunity we have for our own individual expressions of power to express, I would argue, avenues of telepathy, avenues of psychokinesis, of out-of-body experiences, of lucid dreaming, of precognition, intuition, clairvoyance, clairsentience, remote viewing, of tapping into that underlying power force within us that then gets expressed in magical rituals, that is fine-tuned with neurolinguistic programming, that is allowed by hypnosis, rapid healing, levitation, bilocation, communication with non-human, non-corporeal entities. Let's go ahead. We are a power species. And this expression of life, that's just the very, very base of it. But not at all its totality. That's why I like this quote so much. That's what gets me going. Because it's like, oh, if this is true, then what? To to look at existence, to look at your reality, to experience life through this lens, lends itself to more acquisition of understanding and a broader perspective that allows your natural expression of all those awesome powers and more to activate in your life. That is guaranteed. There is far more opportunity for those things to take place with this mindset than the alternative. The alternative being the prevailing popular mindset that you're a meatsack, a kind of biocomputer that is being programmed by the programmers of culture. And while there is certainly, because we are such beautifully fine-tuned biomagical mechanical mechanisms, informed both from within and without, because I think the soul's got a lot to do, a lot more to do with our passions and interests than society and its influence. But because we get it from both ends, it's up to us to choose where our importance of focus is going to be. And focusing on the fact that if you're alive, you are an expression of power? That's a lot better than considering yourself a meatsack, I think. And that's why I'm here. That's why I think this information, this book in totality, is so awesome. So awesome, in fact, I have narrated the entire thing. And I really appreciate you being here, listening to me ramble on with these excerpts. It gives me great energy to discuss and express my enjoyment of all of these perspectives. I love it. If you love it, go ahead, check me out, have me in your ear. Find it on Audible, find it at my website, mrdouglas.com. There's a link in the description. And absolutely, if you've been tickled by this information, check out ingoswann.com, the man behind this masterpiece. ingoswann.com. And thank you for allowing me to join you on your journey of empowerment. Looking forward to the next one. And as always, more power to you. Thanks for hanging.